What up, guys and girls? Another brand new video coming at you today, and we are back for a bit more league racing action here on F1 2017. This is the Apex Online Racing Oceania F2 tier. We're here for round number 11 here at the Austrian Grand Prix. Of course, AOR is sponsored by Elgato Gaming, as always, and Hype Energy Drinks. If you're not hyped, then get hyped with Hyped Energy Drinks. As I completely stuffed it up there, but here's a reminder of the championship standing. So it's a 12-point gap from Zombie to myself, Laggy in third, and my teammate in fourth, who's not taking part in this weekend. At Austria, Ferrari have a 44-point gap over Renault. Haas there in third, Red Bull still holding on fourth, and Sauber coming on strong in the latter parts in fifth. So, yeah, it's pretty much that side of things to go by. But really, we don't have a lot to go by off Season 1 results because we didn't test here, so or didn't do part in Season 1, but let's go to qualifying. So here we are for qualifying around Austria under perfect skies here around the Red Bull Ring. Like I said earlier, a lot of us, when we first started AOR, Austria was not on the list. I think for most of us, the last time we raced around Austria was probably back in the ASR days, as Exodona has now joined. He was a late to this round of I'll get my words out in a minute. To this round, anyway. But anyway, turn one, we've got to get it, nail it right. Anyway, it felt like it was okay, and we're just going to come around the first lap around here, as DLG Campbell's already set the pace, but we go with a 1 minute 6.433, just immediately beaten by DT361X, and just ran a little bit wide there. I was planning on running, doing 2 laps in this first run anyway, but you'll be able to see now there's the first sector. Actually, we're purple in sector 1, but just losing the rear end coming out of turn 2 or turn 3, whichever way you want to put it. It is easy to do, and there was a bit of yellow flag coming out of turn 1 there. I was only down slightly at the second sector, but in the end I thought it might be better just to abort the lap and just come back straight in here. So, you know, early days, I felt pretty confident. I mean, the last time I raced in Austria, I won and got started on pole. So, I mean, it's got good omens anyway, and had a decent result in Tier 1, not necessarily SRL, but you just see here, just putting on another set of ultra soft tyres and taking out all the fuel. Still got over 6.5 minutes left here, so I did think of a possibility whether it was possible to do 3 runs around this joint, even though it's a very quick lap. It's pretty much over in about 1 minute, over 60 odd seconds, but roughly about 65 seconds if you hook up a good lap anyway. But anyway, we're on run number 2 now. Again, went purple through the sector 1, but you'll be able to see coming out of that turn 2 or turn 3, whichever way you want to call it, actually lost the rear end a little bit there, and yeah, coming around turn 4, probably took a little bit too much curb. You want to try and avoid that curb as much as you can, and but anyway, I continued on with the lap as Matt now goes provisional pole for the time being. We've now dropped back to third. We come across the line, actually down by 2/10 in the second run there, so I mean, wasn't exactly thrilled with it, but you see now as I continue on, as I invalidate my lap time coming off turn 1 there, but even on the end lap, I was still pushing on just to try and get back into the lane as quick as I could and chuck on another set of tyres as I get a warning there for speeding into the pit lane. I mean, I wasn't really worried at that stage in the qualifying session. If it was the race, I would be very worried, but yeah, pretty much I was just rushing to get back into the pits, quickly change onto a third set of ultra soft tyres. You can easily get away with, like I said, with 3 sets, and particularly in the race wise, I was trying to avoid some of the quicker rubber anyway. But you can see it was behind Matt there for the moment, and for the majority of the lap. And anyway, I decided to let him go just so I can have a bit of clean air. But at the moment, I'm just going to leave you on board with this lap around Austria. Enjoy. there you go. We go provisional pole, I think, for the time being. And I'm going to show you my lap compared to Zombie Hunter's lap on the right-hand side. So going through to turn 1, pretty even here. I mean, there was nothing much. You probably could tell on my screen anyway. There wasn't much in it between the top 3 especially. So coming into turn 2, we go here. Nice run here. I was just trying to avoid too much wheel spin as best I could. Of course, Zombie on the right uses assist, so he probably doesn't need to worry about the oversteer too much. But coming into turn 3, I think Zombie took a lot more curb than myself coming into there. But comes through turn 4, I took going a little bit closer to the curb. Zombie avoids it as much as he can. Maybe where he lost a little bit of time. I'm not really sure, but just pretty much sizing it up the final 2 corners here. You've pretty much just got to nail it through here. See, run it nice and wide out to the curb as just slows up Zombie a little bit. But as we cross the line now, you can see that's how close it was between a 1 minute 5.979, which set pole, and a 1 minute 6.049 for Zombie, which put him in P3. And of course, is that Matt put it on P2 at a 1 minute 6.039. So there was pretty much nothing between the top 3. And I dare say DLG Gambles, we're going to a replay on he's on board. He probably would have joined us maybe at the top, if not got pole. Had he not screwed this last little bit up, as you see this car slides and it screws up that last little corner there, or the final corner coming onto the front straight. What probably would have been pole was actually put him into P5, but I've literally had no idea who the hell this bloke is. He just decided to join our random lobby. I don't think Zombie put it on invite only, but as always, the AI cars are literally doing their normal thing. Kai was just bashing his way through the field, even broken the front wing as well. But there you go. First pole for myself since, I think, Hungary back in season 1. So it's been a fair drought. But anyway, Matt on second and Zombie third. But it's time to go racing at the Austrian Grand Prix. Righto, welcome to the grid for the Austrian Grand Prix. It's a little bit overcast for the race start anyway, but you can easily get away with a one-stop, and that was always my plan. Ultra softs to softs and chuck on as much fuel as I can. You use a lot, especially down the straights, but I think we're pretty much all set here for round 11 of the Austrian Grand Prix in F2. 5 red lights. Very long hole, but let's do it around the Red Bull ring, and it's an absolute beautiful start from myself. Matt there, you can probably tell, is red Xing, but we easily go through turn 1 in the lead, but there's already a few cars going wide there. I think possibly one of them might have been the Renault of the Zombie Hunter, so not the greatest of starts for him, but coming through to turn 2 now, easily comfortable in front there, but there's always battles going on in the background. There's yellow flags as well, so there's obviously been a few coming together there for some of them, but now through to turn 3. Got quite a nice gap back to Laggy, who's now jumped up into P2. I think he started from P4, so a great start from him. It's anyway, coming through the final corner now, completed the first lap and set a banker time of 1:11. I mean, it was nothing set the wall to line anyway, but Michi is out of this race. That explains all the yellow flags down in the last couple of corners there, and there's a few guys already coming into the pits, so not the greatest of starts for any of those guys, but you can see going fastest there coming through on lap 2 at sector 2. I think I was maybe possibly fastest sector 1, I can't really remember. Anyway, coming through the final couple of corners now, and we're now going to see what the race pace is like around here, as we set a 1 minute 9.234, which is easily beaten by is that Matt, who put a 1 minute 9 pretty much 1 minute 9 flat. So that's other than that, just continuing on lap 3, continuing setting another purple sector in sector 2. You can see now on lap 4, gap's about 1.7 seconds. It pretty much stays stable for the majority of this early stint anyway, but yeah, what more can I say really? Nothing really much happened, just leading away from the front. Zombie Hunter since the fastest lap of the race now. So I think he's into the 108, so possibly he could be a bit further down the field, I'm not really sure, but there's my first warning there for just running a tad wide coming out of the that second last corner there. Anyway, let's have a look at the replays of the start. So let's see what happened with Michi 950 here. So coming into turn 1 here, sitting behind DLG Gamble. That's DT's teammate on the left there. A little bit sideways on the end of turn 1. Now sizing up into turn 2 there. You've got Conrad, I think, Formula Dragster are battling out hard here. But Michi going for a very late dive bomb up the inside, not really working. Well, it nearly did work, but just slammed into the back of the thing. Zombie Hunter, so may have damaged a little bit of his front wing. Now going side by side down this back straight with Formula Dragster here. May hold on for now. Les Dragster can get a good run here coming out of this corner. Still hanging on there for now. Michi's got a battle to deal with here, but it might just hold on for now. So that's up to P8. Someone went very wide there. That's actually Zombie off the road there. So he must have got a little bit of damage. Oh, sideways moment there for Michi. Would have lost him a lot of momentum. Here comes Exodona, who's in the Mercedes. He gives a little touch to Michi there. Off the road he goes sideways. Can he? Oh, no. Well, what more can I say there, really? You can have your own opinions on that one, but here's what happened with Zombie Hunter. So you can see Matt is already red Xing. A little touch there from Matt there, even though the lag may have been involved. So that was one of the reasons why he went wide at turn 1. But you can see now coming up into turn 4. Turn 2, I should say. Getting a little deep. Oh, no. That would explain the front wing damage. So you see he's lost a spot there to DT. You just see running very wide. May have even got the curb there. It's easy to do. You can easily get airborne and just running very wide there, probably just trying to let everybody through. Look at Exodona just racing through there, mowing his way through the field. Even though he's in the Mercedes for this one, technically he will be still in the Force India, but that's a little close between Zombie and Frizy there, but manages to get into the pits. I'll get my words out in a minute, but this is disastrous stuff for the championship leader. Let's have a look on board with DLG Gamble. You see Matt already red Xing there, like I said earlier, but here's Laggy going up the inside and makes it very easy there through turn 1. And Matt's trying to have a good run here up the inside, up into turn 2. And Zombies behind, and Gamble's trying to battle DT here. And you see that's where the banging happened. Getting a little squeeze there is a Gamble. Sly was actually ghosting there. Not sure how that works, but they're 3 wide down the back straight, so wasn't just Formula Dragster head alongside. Looked like he possibly had Conrad, but there's Zombie going off the road there, and that's pretty much the easy spot. Oh, DT had a moment there coming through there as well. So that's another spot gain for Gamble, back up into 5th place now. And now he's on the lap 2. Sly did not have the greatest of runs coming out of turn 1. Might have a good run here up into turn 2. And he just holding on to the inside now. Yeah, just holds on, uses 3rd gears to try and avoid the wheel spin. Still going side by side down the back straight here. It'll be interesting to see who gets the better out of these guys, but DT's not far behind either. Sly still hanging on there. Apologies for if the audio and footage is a little bit out of sync during most of this video. There's nothing really I can do about it, but Gamble just going around the outside, got in front and now gets in front of Sly, so that's now up in the P4. But now this on board with Frizy. He's got Yobbo in front of him there, just on the end of lap 3. Oh, very wide there for Frizy. Yobbo went very wide there actually, and well, that's a terrible run really for Yobbo there, I should say. And that's just lost him a spot there. So Frizy up to P9. Could be possibly on for maybe getting a hat trick of points finishes is Frizy, considering he's finished the last 2 races in the points. So anyway, lap 7, again, nothing really much happened. And a little bit wide there at turn 1. Just made a little tiny odd mistake throughout this whole race. Now Frizy, Conrad run very wide there up in turn 2. So you can have a good drive out of that corner there. Starting to get a little bit closer here. Maybe a little bit of lag. Frizy's in it, it's not the best, but going to send it up the inside here. Conrad is a little bit wide, but this section will now turn into, it'll be the next corner. He'll have the inside line here. It gets around Conrad, does Frizy. I think for now, and yeah, he does go up into P8, so good racing. Oh, he runs very wide coming through this turn 4 and 5 section here. But now he's probably now going to be under attack again from Conrad. Has to take the tighter line going into the last couple of corners here. But he gets right to the curb coming out of the final corner. That's just easy spot back for Conrad. So great battles going on all around in the mid-pack as well. There's a bit of yellow flags up there at turn 4. Wasn't exactly thrilled that someone took out the 100-metre board, but gap was still sitting about 1.7 seconds. But there's yellow flags, and actually Laggy's name's disappeared from the graphic on the top left. So I believe he actually had a spin, and I think Matt actually confirmed it. We were in the same party during the race. I think he confirmed it, and we have a look here. There's Yobbo. Just thank you to Penske for the spectator footage. But there's Laggy, so he has had a spin coming out of turn 2. Can easily get on the power a little bit too early. That's dropped him from 2nd down to 6th now, so it's not great for the man 3rd in the championship, but you see the tyres very evenly matched. But what was a 1.7 second gap is now blown out to about a 4.9 second gap back to, is that Matt, who is now up in the 2nd, and everybody will be up a spot, of course. But lap 10, another yellow flag coming out of turn 6, I think it is, but someone may have had a little spin there. Again, that's easy to do, but just ran a little bit wide, a little bit of oversteer there. There's the tyre wear. It's in the roughly the low 50s to mid 50s, so looking good so far. There's more yellow flags down the back there, so there's a lot of stuff going on already, so we may have some replay cameras of that. Let's go on board with It's Yobbo. Now, I believe, this might be the spinner, so Exodona's going really slowly there and coming to the, no, oh dear. I mean, nothing really he can do there, but Yobbo just goes into the pits there and may have to get that front wing changed there. Possibly could have even nearly retired straight away, but here's Zombie making his way back through the field after that earlier stop, so I think he may be going on to the 2-stop strategy. Look who's just come out alongside. That is that Laggy on the right-hand side, Laggy on the inside and the turn 2. Who's got the better drive out of these two? Who knows, but still going side by side. Laggy's probably going for a longer run here compared to Zombie, who's going, like I said, for 2-stop, but Zombie just gets in front of him for now, and this is going to be an interesting battle between these two into the latter part of the race. But Laggy, Zombie did not have the greatest of runs coming out of the final corner there. Now Laggy's going to send it up the inside here, and he gets it done, but he runs wide. Zombie will have the incentive to go back up the inside here. Just leaves enough room for him. Now let's see who's going to blink here coming up into turn 2 here. Or turn 3, whichever, like I said, whichever way I want to put it. I'm calling it turn 2, but look at that. Look at the drive from Laggy, and that's put him up into P10, so he's got back into the points now. So that's now Yobbo's now retired out of this race, so he's probably just had enough of this anyway. But anyway, lap 12 we go. Gap's about 4.7 seconds, so keeping a consistent pace at the moment as a lock of a lock-up going into that turn 2 hairpin there. I mean, some guys may have been running different wings. They might have been using it for like maybe the bits in sector 2 where I was using I think it was using like 1/6 wings to compensate the front main straights, the long straights especially. You need a very low downforce there especially. So here's Frizy doing his first pit stop. I think he's possibly on the 2 stop. So there goes Conrad. So these two are pretty much stuck together for the majority of the race. So we would not be surprised if their battle continues on. But anyway, lap 13 we go. And I think DLG Gamble and Sly have come into the pits. So they've come in 1 lap earlier compared to myself and Matt, who've continued on. But you just see a little bit of oversteer there coming out of turn 2 there, but coming out of turn 3, this is when I felt like the tyres were really starting to go off now, and I thought better than to risk it and just like go off the road. I thought it'd be easier just to come in and put on the set of soft tyres. Should possibly still come back out in the effective race lead. iKaiowas there is in a 3rd at the moment. He's on the super soft tyres, so probably going to go for a little bit longer run here. But here we are into the pits. Nice on the mark, soft tyres on. Away we go, just able to get out in front of Matt before he comes into this pit stop. That he actually made a little bit of a blue. He was actually supposed to go into the soft tyres, but fortunately, I think he possibly accidentally changed it and put him back on the ultra soft tyres. So what was looking like a great race for Matt has really turned pear-shaped now, so he's really got to push on for the time being. But anyway, we come out in P2. Like I said, effectively behind Kaiwas. He's about 3 seconds up the road, and we got about I think a 3-second gap back to DLG Gamble. So pretty much maybe lost a second or two, maybe not too much. But again, thank you to Penske for the spectator footage. He was actually in the commentary box. I will leave a link to the live stream if you want to catch up on that. But Zombie and DT fighting their way back through the field. So DT on the soft tyres, Zombie on the super soft tyres. I think that battle was still going on. That's for the minor places. Formula Drake's had a terrible run out of the final corner there, and that's probably an easy spot there for Lagi, who's making his way back through the field. He's up to 6th now after that earlier spin. But yeah, nothing really happened much. But lap 16, Matt said the fastest lap of the race. Of course, he's on the ultra soft tyre, so he was really pushing on. But now I'm starting to catch up to the back end of iKaiowas. There's a little bit of lag involved, which I was very cautious about. We'll have a look up the inside here at turn 2. Couldn't quite get it done, but we got DRS. Like I said, being very cautiously here because I did not want a bit of a lag issue here. Me having front wing damage especially, but just taking it nice and patiently here, going around the outside line here, coming into turn 4. He's really working us hard here, but had to really go right around the outside, and I think we just got to brake so late into that corner, but thankfully just got back ahead of him. So now we've taken the effective race lead off Kaiwas. But what I was annoyed about, especially after this, was he actually came into the pits that lap. So I thought, oh, you got to be kidding me. I was a little bit frustrated, let's be honest. Sorry, Kaiwas, if you're watching this video, but it's just the way the racing driver is. But again, this battle, Zombie and DT, still going on here. Zombie up the inside there at turn 2. Now it's still going to go side by side here down the back straight. It's still going on here. I don't think either of these guys want to give up their spot. Zombie gives a little touch there to DT. He's pushed him wide, and it's now put Zombie back up into P8 for now, I think. So should be the move done. As now that was iKaiowas coming in. He came on for the the soft tyres, I should say. Ignore the little glitch that they always have with the tyres on the spectator mode. But Frizy had not the greatest run either. You can easily stuff it up big time in the final corner, especially if you get on that curve a little bit too much. But Formula Dragster's out of this race now, so I think that's the yellow flags at turn 2. So it looked a bit of an interesting spot, I must admit, but just going a little bit quicker now, setting personal best times. But that's what it looked like from Frizy's point of view. Is well, that's an interesting spot for a crash to happen. I don't think I've ever seen a crash happen there. Not in a long while, especially. But that might explain it. So his right rear wheel is off there, so must have just either locked up or gone onto the dirt on the left-hand side, and then gone off to the right there. I'm not really sure there. That's a very weird spot, especially the streamers that were watching it, Sato and Penske and all that, and Mitchie eventually as well when he joined, but to set a personal best from a 108, what was it, 108.3, no, what 108, 108.892. But they were very stunned, the streamers, as Zombie has a little sideways moment coming out of, I think that's turns 5 and 6. Yeah, but this battle still continued on anyway. So iKaiowas now caught up to the rear end of this, and Exodona's making his way through the field as well. As iKaiowas sends it up the inside here into turn 1 and gets the spot done. Yes, he does, and Exodona's been having a good move up the field here. He started obviously last because he didn't take part in qualifying because he joined late in the session, but now sends up the inside as Exodona, gets iKaiowas up into 7th place, so it's an easy couple of spots there for Exodona. He was a man on a mission, was Exodona, but now Zombie comes in for his second stop. You can tell he's really pushing on. He's going to put on another set of super soft tyres and go to the end, so he'll have some pace later on in the race. Don't you worry about it. But anyway, lap 20 we go. Actually, got my second warning again, doing the exact same thing I did earlier on in the race. And also, I think Matt's now come in for his second stop. It's I really feel bad for Matt, even though the lake is a little bit of an issue. I don't think he deserved that. He would easily be battling for a podium especially, but maybe even the race win. Could have put up a fight with me, but that's Matt back down the field. He should make up a few grands. Exodona running very wide there, actually clipped the curb by the look of it, and there goes iKaiowas up the inside there. Whether Exodona can do anything about it in turn 1, no, not quite, but see if he gets a good run here. Going up the hill, let's just say. Matt's come out with a fair gap, and she got a good run here as Exodona, and back up the inside he goes here at turn 2 and gets it back. So there's a lot of battles going up and down the grid as DT's actually made his second stop as well. So that's again lap 22, set with a purple sector 1 time, which I was pretty surprised about, especially it's only lap 22, and well, probably the tyres are about the right grip anyway, but Zombie set the fast lap of the race at a 108.2. I mean, I wasn't really caring about the fast lap of the race especially. I actually had to shift down there a little bit going through the final couple of corners. Exodona has actually left the session, so again, I think internet issues have caused him a little grip there, excuse me for the cough, but this might actually happen. We're on board here with iKaiowas. So he's right behind Exodona. His red crossing is Exodona. Oh, no. No, that's a real shame for iKaiowas there. He was looking really good, especially after the last round in Singapore. Had a ripper race, got his best ever result, I believe, back then at P4, but that's really ruined it now as Frizy just moves out of the way of Zombie Hunter there in the final couple of corners, and that drops him back to P10 for now. Still only 11 runners there, so and he actually decides to pull out of the way at turn 2 to let DT through as well. So one more retirement, and Frizy could easily get another position and get another points finish as well. But anyway, lap 24 we're on to now. The gap's about 3.8 seconds, I think. But yeah, there's a weird yellow flag coming through the second sector. You'll be able to see on the top left graphic, somehow Exodona's in the lead, which I found hard to believe anyway, which I thought I did not want it to meddle with my mind anyway. I just need to stay focused and just continue driving the car. Even though it said Exodona was leading the race, I knew he was way down the grid anyway, but there we go, slapping Frizy now as he come out of the pits there for his second stop now. So yeah, nice glitches as always again from Codemasters. They really do a ripper job, so well done. There's ultra soft tyres for Frizy and away he goes. But Anyway, lap 29, we're still about roughly, apparently 29 seconds behind Exodona now, but that is a sign I wanted to see. Well, you can say it was a good thing and a bad thing, but that is the championship leader out of this race. Especially now, since I'm sort of effectively leading the race, there's his crash car off to the right there. Actually, disappeared, went off screen, but I will explain a lot in a minute. But this is what actually happened. So we saw the little spin he had earlier, and well, he just tries to catch it, but couldn't.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, that's disastrous for the championship leader, as I actually get my third cut there and got a 3-second time penalty. But I was told by Matt that Gamble also had a penalty, and if not, I think he may have had 2 penalties later in the race. So I knew the gap was probably about right anyway, even with the penalties. But now you can see Matt trying to get back through the field now up the inside here at Laggy, and he gets the move done. I think this is on the second last lap anyway, so it's dropped Laggy back to 6th though. As you can see now, apparently Exodona's won the race, even though it says that's not completely right. But like I said, with the championship leader out, and considering we are 13 points behind, we were 13 points behind Zombie, this is a big moment for myself. Because we're coming around the final couple of corners now. I absolutely love this place, but it's going to be back-to-back wins in AOR, and now the championship lead. This is what I wanted. It's been a while since I've had the championship lead, but hopefully I can stay there for the rest of the season. And ring, ding, 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 for the win. And so Gamble come over in second, Sly in third. You can see Exodona actually dropped all the way back to his spot, I think, in 6th place anyway. But there you go. And that is the podium, like I said. So first time I've scored back-to-back wins ever in AOR, especially, or in league races in general, really. So I was pretty proud about that one. I think I'm the second guy as well to do back-to-back. I think Zombie started to done it once or twice anyway, but you'll be able to see it. There's the results on your screen. A lot of penalties. I think you can see there Gamble actually had about 6 seconds worth of penalties, so we pretty much had the gap covered anyway. I think it was about 5 seconds right near the end anyway, but you can just see the amount of warnings through that page anyway. But there's the final results. So myself, Gamble, Sly on the podium. Matt, I feel bad for him. He should have been up there, as well as Laggy in 5th. Exodona in 6th. There's DT, iKaiowas, Conrad, and Frizy gets another point in 10th. And there's the DNFs. 11th, Zombie, Formula Dragster, Yobbo, and Mitchie, who's not been having the greatest of runs in league races for a little bit. But now the championship standings, what was about a 12-point deficit is now a 13-point lead to myself over Zombie. Laggy is about another 13 points behind in 3rd. Sly's now jumped up into 4th over my teammate Owens. Exodona is going to come under attack from Matt there, and Penske ran it at the 10 as well. Constructors-wise, Ferrari extended to a 69-point gap over Renault, so that bonus 25 points has helped. So Haas now into 3rd. Sauber have now jumped up into 4th, equal with Red Bull, who've now dropped back to 5th. Force India and McLaren are equal on points as well in 6th and 7th. Mercedes are now 8th. Toro Rosso 9th. And Williams there getting another point thanks to to Frizy for pretty much a hat-trick of points finishes for Frizy, so well done to him. But after this race, if you follow me on Twitter, you may have seen it, what my tweet was, but I actually dedicated my pole and the win to my grandfather, who passed away on the morning of the race anyway. So I know he'd be really proud of me, even though he probably didn't know anything about this side of things anyway later on in life. But I know he'd be definitely having a beer up there now and reunited with Nana especially as well. But yeah, if you did enjoy it, anyway, be sure to give it a big smash on that like button. You can leave your comments as always down below. Subscribe to my channel for plenty more league racing content on F1 2017, plus other video gaming content as well. All my social media links, as always, will be down in the description. You can follow me on my Facebook page, my Twitter, Instagram, you name it. And I'll leave the links, as always, to the other guys' videos who were mentioned, as well as the live stream. But this was the last race before the week break that coincided with the real-life F1 Grand Prix in Britain. But for the moment, guys and girls, until the Malaysian Grand Prix, we'll be racing for the last time, I think, possibly in an F1 game. It is goodbye, and I'll see you all next time.